welcome to With Care. Today I'm bringing you a video on packing for the hospital. Now this is something that as a midwife and a childbirth educator I get asked a lot about. So I thought it was about time that I created a video and a free downloadable list. So you can scroll down below and access all the resources from today's video, as well as grab that downloadable list so you can be ready for your birth. Now in today's video we're going to be going over what the birthing person needs, so my bag, plus some articles for my support person, as well as some stuff for baby. Really important that we don't overpack when we're headed to the hospital. I know it can be tempting to shove everything from your home in there, but the thing is that we're gonna have to bring home all of this, plus a little newborn, and we're gonna be exhausted. So in this case, less is more. If we need to stay at the hospital for an extra few days, we can always send a family member, a friend, our support person, home to grab a few extra things. So please keep in mind that less is more. We want you to have this bag ready by about 36 to 37 weeks of pregnancy. And even if you're not planning a hospital birth, it's very important to have your bag ready. We are planning a home birth, but at 37 weeks, I have all of this ready to go in the event that we need to move on into hospital. So I really hope that today's video will help you create a birthing bag that helps get you through your labor and delivery. And please, again, feel free to scroll down below to grab this list. Let's get started. So the first bag I'm going to be going over is the birthing person's bag. So my own bag and what should be going in it. Now my bag is nice and large, so I might be able to fit my partner's supplies in there also, and then have a separate bag for baby. But I want to make sure that I am bringing the essentials that I'm going to need during this labor and delivery. So one of the first things is any documents from your healthcare provider that were given to you, any provincial health cards, any hospital cards, really any insurance cards that need to go with you, very important to have. We also want to make sure that we have any resources. So if we had a prenatal class that provided us with some resources we want to take, please make sure you pack those in your bag. Some people will want to bring some labor aids, some things that might help with massaging, coping, helping with pain. So again, you can toss those in. We'd also like to have something comfortable to wear during labor. I typically like a nightgown, and that's because a long nightgown, it makes it easy for vaginal exams to be done. We don't have to be taking off our bottoms at all times. And if it is a button down, it's extra easy for taking on and off with an IV in place. So that really is ideal. We'd also like to have some slippers. I typically recommend something with a rubberized sole, just because the hospital is a dirty place and labor can get messy. So good to have something that we can wipe off, or if they're nice and cheap, toss them away after. I also always pack a robe. Something that's shorter is usually ideal. We don't want something like hanging down onto the ground of the hospital, but having a robe that you can put on and take off as you get hot and cold throughout labor is really nice. We'd also like some socks, typically a few pairs, and that's because in labor, when it gets messy, they might get wet and we might want to take them on and off. So again, a few pairs are ideal. We're also going to pack a pair of pajamas for after the delivery. So again, if we're staying for a few days, we might want something more comfortable than the hospital gown to be wearing. We're going to need to pack either some adult incontinence briefs or some maternity pads, making sure that whatever we're getting does not have a dry weave top, just a straight cotton pad. That's really, really important. They will give us a few of these at the hospital when we have the baby, but afterwards we will be expected to provide the rest of them. So again, pack some of those. As far as toiletries, we'd like to bring a towel for mom. It's a lot nicer to use your own towel from home than one from the hospital. And then we'd like to bring things like our toothbrush and toothpaste, if we've got contact supplies or glasses, some deodorant, a hairbrush, some hair ties, maybe a headband, as well as maybe some arnica gel. I also have some breast pads there, so reusable or disposable breast pads. Either way, that's a great idea in case our milk is flowing a lot. We also want to pack an outfit to come home in. Think of something comfortable, please. No jeans, no pre-pregnancy clothes. You will be about 5 months pregnant in appearance and feel after you give birth, so having something really cozy is nice. Also having a nursing bra. I recommend something without any underwire, just something nice and flexible and soft, as well as a few pairs of underpants. So they will give you a pair of mesh underpants to wear initially after the delivery, but you're going to want a few pairs of your own if you're sticking around for a day or two. So again, these are just the basics of what should be put into our birthing person's bag. And next we're going to be going over what the support person and what baby will need. So stay tuned. Packing for a support person is a much smaller job than packing for ourselves, but there are a few key things that are essential for them to have. First, we'd like to make sure they have their cell phone as well as any chargers. Really important that they can take care of that, and that any important contact information for people that they might need to get in touch with throughout the labor and delivery are available on their phone or on our phone and easily accessible. We'd also like to make sure that the support person has some cash and change for things like parking, vending machines, snacks. Sometimes late at night it's hard to access things like an ATM or change in the hospital, so again, being prepared is always helpful. We'd like our partner to pack a comfortable change of clothes, something they can sleep in if they need to, again, something in case their clothing does get soiled at the delivery. Really important they've got something comfortable to change into. Also, if we're planning on incorporating water into our labor, very important that they have an appropriate pair of swimsuit or a swimsuit. It's totally acceptable for the pregnant person to be naked throughout their labor and delivery, but our partner must wear appropriate swimwear. It would not be appropriate for them to be naked. So again, packing that if they're planning on joining us in the water in our labor. Also keep in mind that our support person should pack their own small toiletry bag, just with the essentials, toothbrush, toothpaste, and if they need contacts or glasses or anything like that. Otherwise, they can always take a quick trip home if we need to spend more than a day or two in the hospital. So again, this bag should be something that's very small or fitting within our own bag, just a few key essential items for our partner to have available for themselves at the birth. Up next, we've got baby's bag. Now, baby also does not need a ton of supplies, but there are a few key things that we want to pack. I typically like to have a burp cloth of some type. Things can get messy in those first few days when our baby's very mucousy. Having some traditional flannel receiving blankets, just one or two, again, great as burp cloths. I typically like to pack one or two of my muslin light swaddle blankets. Again, something we can wrap baby in, use for nursing, use for burping, anything like that. And if our little one is being born during the cold time of year, so fall, winter, or spring here, we want to make sure that we've got a warmer blanket that we can put over top of them in the car seat for our trip home, or some kind of car seat safe cover, just making sure that nothing that we're putting on baby adds any bulk between their harness straps and themselves, whether in front or behind of their body. So again, making sure that we're packing appropriately for the time of year that our little one is going to be welcomed. We also want to make sure that we pack some cotton hats. Different sizes are a great idea because we don't know how big baby's head will be, and we'd like to have a tight-fitted hat on them for the first few days of life. The hospital will typically give us one, but it will get quite soiled, and so it's nice to have a few other ones. We also would like to pack some undershirts for our babies or onesies. These can be newborn or size 0 to 3 months. Either way, we'd like to pack 2 or 3 of these as a minimum. And again, if we need to stay longer, we can always send someone home for some extra supplies. We'd also like to pack a few infant sleepers. So if our sleepers have feet on them, then that's great. If they do not have feet on them, that's okay too. Just make sure that we're packing some little socks to go along with these so our little one is staying nice and warm. Again, a few of these sleepers are essential. The hospital will provide us with a few diapers and wipes when the baby's first born, but then they will expect us to provide our own. So please make sure that you're packing a small number of diapers and wipes. Again, if you've got a huge box of them at home, you can always take some out and put them into, a bag within your bag, or you can just get a small package to pack within your baby bag. The last thing I like to have for my little one in the hospital is called a sleep belt. It's a Canadian-made hands-free skin-to-skin device that I really love. It opens up, it's got this Velcro, wraps around us and attaches, and then our baby can go inside for some skin-to-skin time while we're resting and recovering in our hospital bed. So this is a really, really nice thing to throw into our hospital bag as a little extra. Again, I will include the resource for this below, so you can always check that out. But this is what I include in our bag for our little ones in case we need to move into hospital for delivery. Now, there are a few larger items that you probably will want to have prepared for your hospital stay. A pillow or two for the birthing person as well as partner can be a nice option. Having something from home is a lot nicer often than something from the hospital. Also making sure that your infant car seat is installed properly in the car and that all the straps have been adjusted for newborn use so you'll be ready to take your little one home. That's really important. Some people will also like to bring an exercise ball or a birthing ball with them. Most of our hospitals do have exercise balls available, but some people want to bring their own or are just nervous they might not be available when they need it for use. So again, that's possible that you can bring that with you if you'd like to. Also packing some snacks for the support person as well as the birthing person, making sure they're things that are easy to grab. Things like little bags of trail mix or nuts, things like granola bars, maybe a little treat like some dark chocolate, some fruit, mini sandwiches, clear juices, or coconut water. So again, just a few simple things. We do not need to pack a huge amount of food, but again, keep in mind that when it's late at night or overnight, it can be very difficult to find food within the hospitals, and so we would prefer that you are prepared. Also, if you'd like to bring something like a camera separate from your cell phone, that's something that you'd want to put in with these larger items. So again, just making sure that we keep that in mind and trying to keep this list as small as possible so that when we're headed home, we are not too overwhelmed. So I hope that my packing for the hospital list has helped you feel a little bit more prepared for the arrival of your little one. Please again scroll down below and grab my free downloadable list. Also feel free to leave any comments or questions below, and I would love to hear from you guys if there's any topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Please note that all of the resources are listed below also, and I would love it if you could scroll down to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date of all of my future videos. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.